Picture perfect family is what we try to be. Look closer, you might see the crazy things we do. This isn't make-believe, it's our reality. Just your average family trying to be normal and stay out of trouble, living a double life.
What's up? Today we got Thurman's Season 4, Episode 21, Make It Pop, Pop. Make it pop, pop. Yeah, this episode is a reference to This episode's reference is to the Nickelodeon show Make It Pop, which we're gonna start the show, we'll make it drop. Yeah, sorry, I always loved that show growing up. Make It Pop. I always watched that show growing up when it came out, so hearing an episode based on it just brings back the memories of me loving Make It Pop and always obsessing over that theme song. Make it pop, ooh, ooh, we're gonna start the show, let's drop. Anyway, back to this video. Make It Pop, Season 4, we got Thurman, Season 4, Episode 21, Make it pop, pop. This episode starts off at Thornton House, Phoebe saying, Barb, grab that cobweb. Hey, she sees streaks. Nan and Pop Pop are coming to the visit. That means this place is gonna be spotless. Spotless! Yeah, that her saying that just reminded me of that Johnny Test one where Hugh Test tells Johnny to make everything spotless. Max says, does this help? And sprays water at Phoebe. Phoebe says, sprays Phoebe with a water bottle. Phoebe says, no. Hank says, Max knows the drill. The only thing Sergeant Thunder hates more than supervillains is a dirty house. Barb says, yeah, so make sure Colosso hides like he always does when Pop visits. Max says, but Colosso's part of the family. Phoebe says, yeah, the part they're ashamed of. Colosso says, hey, who can be ashamed of his cool dress style? Who can be ashamed of his style? Hank says, his dad was the toughest superhero on the planet. Yeah, he was the American hero. We know I said that because, yeah, Hank's dad is played by... crap, I gotta look again. Hank's dad is Pop Thurman is played by William Katt, who is best known for his role as Ralph Hinckley in the Greatest American Hero. So yeah, he's in this episode. Ralph Hinckley. I said Ralph. Yeah, if I said Ralphie, I'm sorry. Ralph Hinckley. Ralph Hinckley from The Greatest American Hero plays Hank's dad. They even mention it. They even mention it in this episode when Pop tells Max that Max is on his way to becoming an greatest American hero, just like him, greatest American superhero, just like him. Because of course we know that he played. Get it? Because he played the greatest American hero. Yeah, if Hank says his... And also, why does that look like that? I totally look at that pillow right there, and that totally looks like the Duolingo bird. And there's William Katt, the greatest American hero himself. I know, but still. Hank says his dad was the toughest hero on the planet. If it was up to him, if it was up to his dad, his dad would lock up Colosso forever in a horrible place. Barb says that's too horrible. Max says you heard him beat it, and Colosso says fine. He left a little present to clean up on the couch. Phoebe says she loves when Pop comes to visit. They catch up, they train, they criticize Max. Or maybe he'll teach her her signature move. Drop the thunder. Max says, do you hear yourself? I'm Phoebe and I'm a thunder nerd. Phoebe says, Yeah, he's just jealous because she's Pop Pop's favorite, and he's Colosso's favorite. Max says, that's not true, and Colosso says, Max, he baked them a friendship pie for my favorite guy. Max says, dude, they talked about this. Billy says, yeah, Billy is finally back in this episode after his last episode, Spaz Speed Off. So yeah, Billy's finally back. Again, I don't know why he was in the last episode. Again, he was just a cameo because he was hooked on Spazberry. So Billy says, "Is Nana here yet with her gifts?" Barb says, "Kids, spending time with their Nana isn't about gifts." Nora says, "Barb's right. Billy, sometimes she gives them her cat." Chloe says, "Giving awesome presents is Nana's superpower." Nora says, Phoebe says, Chloe knows that Nana's superpower is kindness, not giving away money. You're giving presents. Hank says, yeah, that's right. When Nana was Thunder Woman, which is obviously reference to Wonder Woman, I totally pointed that out. I was watching this episode. Yeah, I watch these episodes when I script these. So yeah, I know what the characters are talking about. So yeah, and also I like to be authentic to script these every time I watch the episode. But anyway, yeah. When she was back when she was Thunder Woman, in obvious reference to Wonder Woman, she would disarm her foes by turning them nice with a pinch of the cheek, like this. Nora says, "Ow, Hank, he has super strength." The Thunder Monitor alerts them to Nana and Pop Pop approaching. Phoebe says, they're here, place it. People, Max says, yeah, he'll stay wherever he wants, and Phoebe's like, get over here. Like, what are you, Scorpion? Phoebe does, get over. Phoebe's like, get over here. Like she's Scorpion or something. Nana says hello. She's looking for her 5 adorable grandkids. Billy says, Nana, it's them. They're her 5 adorable grandkids. Hank says, Sergeant Thunder. Pop-Up says, why so formal? Call him Sergeant Dad. Nora says, she's got gifts. She hears those wireless headphones are lit. Phoebe says, thanks, Nana. And Nana says, she and all her grandbabies, she'll give all her grandbabies their presents later, so no big babies get jealous. Hank says, Mom, she better have a present for him. Yeah, Hank turns whiny for a minute. Yeah, she better buy him something. Phoebe says, hey, Pop-Pop, someone's really special for a hug. And Pop-Pop says, she's right. Get over here, Max. Again, that was just so great. Nora says, he's hugging Max. And Phoebe says, she heard. She sees that. But don't worry, he's still going to teach her how to drop the thunder. Pop-Pop says, Max, he can't wait to show him how to drop the thunder. He says, she's going to show Max, and she says she sees that too. Meanwhile, in the B-plot, Hank says, okay, Mom, have a great time with the kids at Splatburger while Barb and him do their boring errands. Barb says, yeah, parents' errands are the worst. Nana says, Hank's flying Barb to parents for lunch, isn't he? Barb says, yes, Mrs. Thunderman. Which got me confused because Barb's also Mrs. Thunderman. So, she's also Thunderman. Thunderman's her last name. So it's very weird that she would call Nana Thunderman Mrs. Thunderman. Yeah, these people don't have names and stuff. So it's called Pop and Nana. We don't know their actual names. Nana says before they go, she wants to see the kids' faces after she gives them their amazing gifts. Sweaters! Chloe says, You guys seeing this too, right? Nora says, aren't those sweaters just super duper? Billy says, they look like barf. And Nora says, which is a good thing. Barf means cool. And Nana says, oh, well, she thinks that they are barf. She thinks you kids are pretty barf. Hey, what? Pretty barf too. Why don't they wear their sweaters to Splatburger? Nora says, oh, thanks, but they don't want to get them ruined. Let's put them in the act for safekeeping. Billy says, they don't have an attic. And Chloe says, just go. Again, Chloe is great. Hank says, whoa, kids, get back here with those interesting sweaters. Nora says they don't want to hurt Nana's feelings, but they wear these in public. They'll have to change their names and move to even more Hiddenville. Yeah. Nora says, Barb says, it's just one lunch, and it means so much to her. Look, Nana is on the phone saying, yes, Myrtle, they love the sweaters. Tell all the girls. Billy says, they can't disappoint Myrtle and the girls. Nora says, fine, they'll wear the sweater. One lunch. Then Chloe says, I'll teleport them away like Daddy's bike shorts. Hank says, did Barb tell Chloe to get rid of his bike shorts? Barb says, Thunderman Electress, away! Hank says, no, it doesn't work like when she says it. Thunderman Electress, away! And they fly away. Yeah. Meanwhile, in the A-plot, Pop-Up says, so Max turned good and the Z-Force came calling. Clean my latrines and salute my shorts. Phoebe says actually they called her first because, of course, Phoebe's a jealous mess. So let's not clean that latrine just yet. Pop-Up says important thing is Max is on his way to becoming a greatest American hero. Like him. Just like he was. Get it? Because the actor played the greatest American hero. Get it? Max says, that's right. He's to chip off the old Pop-Pop. Pop-Pop says, praising Max like this has worn him out. He's got to take a power nap. He says, Pop-Pop, wait. She was hoping that he would show her how to drop the thunder. Max says, keep talking, Phoebe, and she'll put him right to sleep. Pop-Pop says, Max, he's still funny, and that's the one thing me and Pop-Pop can agree on. That Max is still hilarious. Yeah, Max is still the funny one. Max says, well, Phoebe says, don't you say. Max says, he's Pop-Pop's favorite. And Phoebe says, he said it. Max says, face it. Everyone prefers the formally bad but interesting Max to the always good and boring Phoebe. Wow, Max is literally talking for me right now because that's how I feel every time I do this show and say I love Max. Because I love Max. I do. I love even I prefer Max over Phoebe. Phoebe says, alright, here's the story. Once upon a time, Max stinks. Max says, would you stop yelling? His Pop-Pop is trying to sleep. Phoebe says, come on. She would go back to being Pop-Pop's favorite if he knew that Max assigned Colosso in his lair. Wait, Pop-Pop's like, wait a minute, Dr. Colosso is here. Yeah. Dr. Colosso, yeah. Wait a minute, Dr. Colosso is here? He said, who said that? She didn't say that. Max says, yeah, she didn't say that. Pop-Up says, this must be Hank's doing. Hank was always thought a villain, but not Sergeant Thunder is not. And he transforms into a super suit. And I kind of was like, maybe that's how they did it in The Greatest American Hero. Maybe that's how he also transformed in his super suit. And this is just a reference to that show. I've never seen it, but I've seen a few minutes. I've never watched every episode, but still. I've seen a few minutes like years ago, but I've never watched it in full, so I don't know. I'm just gonna guess they're referencing his super suit transformation. It's under thunder on Dr. Colosso, and Max says, "News story: Once upon a time, Phoebe stinks." And after the opening, in the A plot, Pop Pop says before he takes out a villain, he likes to stretch out his super hammy. Max says, "Okay, Pop, Colosso is here, but I can turn them into a bunny." He says, "Yeah, he was in a filthy cage, and Max is filthy later, which is way worse than prison." Pop says, "They keep Colosso here, while he flies home and gets his detention zone transporter." He also forgot his toothbrush. "Sergeant Thunder, away!" And he flies away. But he says, "Oh, that's where Hank gets it." I put from because Max says that would be fascinating if his best friend's life was in danger. He says maybe the detention zone isn't that bad. Maybe the detention zone isn't that bad. Max spent most of his life in detention, and he turned out fine-ish. Max says he wishes Hank and Barb were here so they could ask him that. Then Hank and Barb show up, and Hank shows off his new shorts, saying his new underwear by saying "drink it in." Max says okay, he wishes only Barb was here. Hank says, "Hey, where's Pop?" Phoebe says, "Oh, he just had to warn himself out from telling them old soup story." Max says, "I bet something about the detention zone." Hank says, "The detention zone? Oh, that place is bad. I mean, real bad. I mean, bad." Barb says, "It's where Pop used to send villains." Phoebe says, could they get back to the really bad part?" Hank says, "It's an alternate dimension where supervillains are punished with soul-crushing torment. Anyway, see ya." Yeah, they don't elaborate further. Hank says he can't believe it because if Phoebe couldn't handle being Paula's favorite, Colosso's gonna need a bad, really bad place. Phoebe says she has a brilliant idea. What if they get Colosso out of the house before Pop gets back? Max says, "That's not brilliant. That's obvious." Phoebe says, "Does he want to do or not?" Colosso says, "He's just saying she oversold it." Meanwhile, in the B plot, at Splatburger, Nora says, "Nana's in the parking the car. Time to walk in there in these humiliating sweaters." Chloe says, "Let's do it for Nana, baby." They walk in only to be laughed at, and then they immediately walk out. Chloe says, "Let's not do it for Nana, baby." Nora's like, "Chloe's right. Time to get rid of these sweaters." Billy says, "Yeah, they don't want to hurt Nana's feelings. They won't hurt, but it won't that hurt Nana's feelings." Nora says it won't hurt her feelings if she thinks they were stolen by a bully. Chloe says this is why Nora's their leader. In Splatburger, Nora says, "What did I tell you? See, no one's laughing or pointing." Billy says, "Well, that guy is. But he just has a broken finger." Nora says, "Oh, here she comes. Here comes Nana. Look at that." Or confused words. Nana says, "What happened to their sweaters?" Nora says, she can't believe it. A bully stole them right off their backs. Billy says they tried to stop them, but they couldn't. Is that right? Did they try to stop them? Nora says they sure did, but that bully got away. Chloe says, "Far, far away." Nana says, "Well, it didn't get far. She's right there." As the goat Mrs. Wong walks in wearing the sweaters. Nana says, "Hey, bully. Those sweaters belong to her grandkids." Mrs. Wong says, "Are you talking to me, lady?" Yeah, I can finally bring back the Mrs. Wong voice. Billy says, "Is it him or does Mrs. Wong look fantastic in that sweater?" Well, Mrs. Wong looks fantastic in an episode she's on. Meanwhile, in the A plot, Colosso says, "All aboard Colosso hairline." Max says, "Colosso is serious. He needs to get right out of here right now." He says, "Yeah." They'll send the word when it's safe for him to come back. Okay? Colosso says, "Like she cared. She's the one who spilled the beans, you bean spiller." She says she didn't mean to. Max says, "Oh yeah. It was just accidentally slipped out right as Pop was giving him lots of attention." Phoebe says, "Yeah, it sounds bad when he puts it like that." Max says, "Colosso, he can take this photo out to remember him by." Colosso says, "Oh, thanks, Max. He better put it in somewhere safe." And Phoebe says, "There's no room in that plane for," and he swallowed it. Phoebe says, "Okay, Colosso." Then Colosso says, "Flight attendant," "prepare for takeoff." And Colosso flies off on his plane. He says, "Okay, Colosso's safe now." And Pop because they'll just say, "OMG, what's in that in the sky?" Max says, "Why would they say that?" And then they look to see it's Pop. And they say, "Pop." Pop says, "He just canceled that route flight," as Colosso crashes down saying, "Mayday!" And he crashes to the ground saying, "Welcome to Edenville, where the local time is..." Ow! Pop says, "Time to send you to the detention zone. Hasta la vista, bunny." Max says, Pop, no, you can't do this to Colossus like his best friend." And Pop says, "He is? Well, that changes everything. Hasta la vista, grandson." And Max and Colossus get transported to the detention zone. Pop says, "Phoebe got any villain friends?" Phoebe says, "Sir, no sir." I love to Gideon get sent to the detention zone. I know it's just a joke about how much I dislike Gideon, but maybe they could teach him how not to be maybe they could teach him how not be a pervert and not try to steal husbands' wives. Yeah, that's what that's what. I guess Gideon does have a girlfriend in Sarah now, but still, he was trying to steal girlfriend's wife for seasons now. How can we trust him that he will not try to steal Barb even though he has a girlfriend? Max and Klaus, yeah. Phoebe says she can't believe he sent Max to detention zone. Pop says, "Calm down, Phoebe. He'll let her banish the next villain. Hey, how about he show her how to drop the thunder?" Phoebe says, yes, that'd be amazing." "No, Phoebe." Yeah, I like how Phoebe Conch says Pop-Pop's giving her what she wants, but she knows she has to saving Max is more important. Like, I kind of like that about Phoebe in this episode, is that she initially gets suckered in by Pop, but then realizes that she shouldn't be, that Max is more important than learning a special move. Papa says, "He'll bring Max." Pop says, Phoebe says, Pop, he needs to bring Max back." Pop says, "Don't worry, when Max has learned his lesson, he'll set him free with this key." Phoebe says, "How many villains has Pop set free?" How many villains has he set free? Pop says, "Let him do the math. 0. Because why would he let villains go?" Phoebe says, "Max may be gone forever." "But sorry, Pop. Pop says, "For what?" Phoebe says, "For this." And Phoebe takes the key and Pop says, "Phoebe, don't." And Phoebe freezes Pop. Now time to save Max and Colosso. Then Phoebe accidentally transports Barb's favorite pillow to the detention zone. She says, "Oh, Barb's favorite pillow. She's gotta stop losing things Barb gotta stop losing things Barb loves today." Then Phoebe transports herself to the detention zone. In the detention zone, Phoebe says, "Oh good, Barb's pillow." "Oh good, Barb's pillow." In a room full of psycho villains. Klaus says, "Ugh. The place just got worse." The dean, yeah, then we meet the dean that says, look what Sergeant Thunder has brought today. Has been busy today. Name? Phoebe says, Phoebe, but the name's Phoebe, but she's actually, Dean says, take a seat. And Phoebe says, sorry, but she can't, but can she talk to him? Dean says, seat. And Phoebe says, sits down. The Dean says, today's lesson is the same thing as it is every day. How not to be a supervillain? Max says, what is Phoebe doing here? Phoebe says, busting them out after she uses this key to open that door. Max says, no, put that away before the Dean takes it with her super gross tongue, which she does after she eats it. Meanwhile, on the B plot, Mrs. Wong says, sorry for the last time she did not take the sweater from her smelly grandchildren. Nana says, they're not smelly. Billy says, yeah, he showered the last week. Nora says, Nana, there's no time wasting. They should just find somewhere else to eat. Nora says, her granddaughter's right. There's no use wasting time with people, like wasting their time on someone like Wong, with the likes of Wong, of Mrs. Wong. Mrs. Wong says, looks like today's special is chicken a la Fenderin. I miss doing the Mrs. Wong voice. It could be offensive, but man, do I love do it. It could be offensive, but people don't take it offensive. Nora says, so close. Nan says, what did she just say? And Billy says, she just called you a chicken dish, Grandma. Yeah. Mrs. Wong says, let me put this in words you understand. Buck, buck, buck. Nan says, that's time for Mrs. Wong to learn a little kindness. And she punches Mrs. Wong's cheeks. No, she pinches Mrs. Wong's cheeks, making her nice. Yeah, I was like, yeah, now Mrs. Wong says, welcome to Splatburger, sweeties. And Nora says, and Chloe says, did she just call them sweetie? Yeah, Chloe said it. The way Maya Lake Clark says it is way better than I do. Nina says, all right, grandbabies, Mrs. Wong has something to tell them. Nice Wong says, she doesn't remember stealing their sweaters, but please accept her apology, you cutie patooties. Nina says, what do you say? And Billy, Chloe, and Nora say thank you. Very sadly, because of course they did not want any of this. Nice Wong says, to make up for all of this, their lunch is free. In fact, free food for everyone. Chloe says, free food? I've got to tell Daddy. Well, no, she says Dad, but I'm just going to put... Chloe says, free food? I've got to tell Daddy. And Chloe teleports away because calling him Dad is kind of weird. Billy says he likes that Wong is nice now, but isn't it bad she's giving away so much food? Nora says, but it's worth it. If she's even giving away her cash register. Nice Wong says, she doesn't have a doggy bag, but she put the customer's food in her cash register. Remember, don't eat the money. Meanwhile, on the A plot, at the detention zone, the Dean says, no sleeping. Phoebe. Cole says, come on, Max. Come on, Max. They gotta get that key back and get out of here. Phoebe says, you know what? What I always say, honesty is the best policy. Then literally the villains mock her by saying, honesty is the best policy. And Max says, even they know you're a nerd. Max says, ha ha ha, they know you're a nerd. Yeah. Phoebe says, follow her. Hi, Dean. There's been a huge mistake. They're actually superheroes and don't belong here. The Dean says, really? Show of hands. How many people are actually superheroes and don't belong here? And everyone raises their hand. Max says, she means it. They're Sergeant Thunder's grandchildren. The Dean says, show of hands. How many of them are Sergeant Thunder's grandchildren? They also all the villains also raise their hands. The Dean says, "No, nice that they now since they're so determined to be a disruption, they can help her feed the class pet." Phoebe says, "What are the chances it's a hamster?" Cut to a monster in a cage with glowing lights coming out of the cage. And Phoebe saying, it still could be a hamster. Meanwhile, in the B plot, at Splatburger, Nora says, if Mrs. Wong keeps giving away free food, she'll lose her restaurant by the end of the day. Nice Wong says, congratulations, Jamie. She now owns Splatburger. Nora says, this is bad. They gotta do something that what they should have done in the first place. Nan says sorry. She had to go next door. Wong giving away all of her toilets. Nora says, Nan, they have something to tell her. Wong didn't steal their sweaters. They threw them out because they were embarrassed to wear them. No. People were laughing at you. Like, okay, you first were embarrassed, but the only reason why you threw them out was because you went to Splatburger and people meanly laughed at you. How is that being embarrassed? Nora, tell Nana the truth. That you are really doing this because you were being laughed at. Billy says, it's true, and Barb doesn't mean cool, it just means Barb. Nana says, why did she listen to Myrtle? Myrtle's superpower is to convincing people they make nice sweaters. Nora says, they're so sorry if they hurt Nana's feelings. Billy says, does she forgive them? Nana says, of course she does. She can never stay mad at her grandbabies, no matter what they smell like. Billy says, she's talking about you, Nora. She wishes she didn't have to make Wong mean again. But she'll let her be nice for 5 more minutes. Then Mrs. Wong, Nice Wong says, that customer looks cold. Does she want the sweater off of her back? And before Mrs. Wong can literally undress in front of them, they say, do it now, Nana. And Nana, of course, Nana pinches Mrs. Wong's cheeks again, returning her back to her mean, hilarious self. Barb and Hank come in at the wrong time, and of course, Chloe, Hank, and Barb come in at the wrong time because Chloe, Hank, and Barb came in thinking that they still get Nice Wong, but of course, Mrs. Wong's back to her mean, brutal self. So Hank says, Mrs. Wong. Barb says, hi, Mrs. Wong. Hank says, yeah, they'll take 5 cheeseburgers. Mean Wong says, how about 50 kicks in the butt? Get out, all of you. And she kicks them all out. And that's where we end the B plot. And of course, we never see Nana Thunderman again. So, yeah, it's kind of weird that the B plot just ends with Mrs. Wong kicking everyone out. Meanwhile, back in the A plot, at the detention zone, Phoebe says, won't that thing bite if they feed it? Won't the monster bite if they feed it, miss? The Dean says, she wouldn't worry about that. The monster blows fire out of the cage. And Max says, would you worry about that? And Dean says, absolutely. In fact, she's not going to watch or she'll get sick. Colosso is sick. If he can save them. Then Colosso starts throwing up. That's it. He can save them. And Colosso starts throwing up. Phoebe says Colosso's throwing up is going to make her throw up. And Max says, no, Phoebe. Colosso's puking them out of here. Colosso says, there. Then Colosso shows the dean proof of his picture of Max and Phoebe with Pop Pop. And Max says, oh, she's going to touch that. And Dean says, it's all right. She's shedding her skin later anyway. Well, they are Sergeant Thunder's grandchildren. My apologies. When they get back, please tell their grandfather that Lizzie was nice to him. Ruby says, okay, now it's Lizzie. Lizzie opens the door, and Max says, wait, what about Colosso? Lizzie says, no, Colosso is an actual supervillain. He has to stay. Max says he'll come back to Colosso, but Max looks over to see Colosso has already escaped. Escaped through went into the portal. Lizzie says, he snuck right past her. And Max says, so are they. Bye. But the Phoebe has to get back at Barb's pillow first. So then they leave. Phoebe says, sorry. She had to go back for Barb's pillow. And they go back to their home. Phoebe says, she had to go back for Barb's pillow. Max says, that's not Barb's pillow. That's Hank's butt pillow. And Phoebe, of course, drops it. Because of course she would. So she literally risked her life to save a pillow that wasn't even the pillow she thought it was. Phoebe says, okay, time to unfreeze the ice pop. So Phoebe unfreezes Pop. Pop says, she froze him, didn't she? Phoebe says, it was the only way to get Max back from the detention zone. Max says, by the way, Lizzie says hi. Phoebe says, Pop, all this happened because she was jealous of Max was his new favorite. Pop says, ha! Wait, what? Did she just go to the ding-dong zone? He couldn't possibly have a favorite grandkid. Phoebe says, but he was giving Max so much attention. Pop says he was only giving Max so much attention so Max wouldn't go back to being a huge pain in the thunderbutt. And he's still not happy Max is friends with an evil rabbit. Phoebe says, Max says, Colosso's the reason they both got out of the detention zone. He sacrificed their lives to save them. Phoebe says, both got out of the detention. Yeah. Colosso's the reason they both got out of the detention zone. He sacrificed his life to save them. And he says, yeah, they ran to save himself, but it was a great start. Pop says, maybe living here with the Thunderwinds is rubbing off on Colosso. That's what they're trying to tell you. Before he crashed his plane, you old fart. Pop says, who wants to see him drop the thunder on Colosso? He says, why not? Max says, sure. And Colosso says, hey, what are they talking about? Then Pop creates a thunder energy burst onto the ground, and Colosso says, that did not come down. And Pop says, wait for it. And Colosso follows to end the episode. So that was Make It Pop. Again, I kind of wish we would have seen more of Pop and Nana. They were good characters, even though, and Mrs. Wong being nice was alright. I didn't find it funny as much as I did with with Mean Wong, but since Mrs. Wong is also in next episode, competing against a child in a Girl Scouts competition. We'll talk about who she's competing against. We all know who's the only child on the show. But still, the next episode is side kicking and screaming. Phoebe and Max discover that they're being pushed too hard with their work hero duty. So they get Hank and Barb's old sidekick Assista Boy to help them out. But Max and Phoebe fear, but Hank and Barb fear that that them sharing a sidekick might push a sister boy over the edge. Meanwhile, in the B plot, Chloe is selling Girl Scouts cookies, and she's competing against my girl, Mrs. Wong. Oh no, I don't know who to choose. I love Chloe. I don't know who to root for next episode. Chloe against Mrs. Wong? Yeah, I love both of them. So how am I going to choose who's going to be my favorite to root for in the next episode? They're both my favorites. But I'm just glad that we're getting to see more Mrs. Wong in this season. We only have like a few episodes left. We only got a few episodes left. We only got a few episodes left. I know it's only 29 episodes, but still, only a few episodes left. So, yeah. So Chloe's trying to get a Girl Scout cookie and is trying to get enough money and is, of course, competing against Mrs. Wong for it. Weird that she's like 5 years old, and she's competing against an old woman. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, that was Make It Pop Pop. Or as I like to say, the reference to my favorite show. Make it pop. Oh, we gotta go to the show. We make it pop. Oh yeah, make it pop. I'm putting at the end of this video, so yeah. So that was Make It Pop Pop, and I liked it. It was good. I liked Pop Pop's character. Wish we would have seen more of him. I liked how they referenced Pop Pop's actor's original show, The Greatest American Hero. And yeah, so that's it for this video. And I'll see you next time for next episode when we review Side Kicking and Screaming. See you next time.